Hi, hello, welcome to the video lecture about the domain name system. Subject name is computer networks. So this is very important topic because this domain name system helps users or a client to request whatever he want to be to learn about. Okay, then what is domain name system? So it is nothing but a hierarchical and decentralized naming system that is mainly used to translate human-friendly domain names like www.google.com into some IP address, okay, that computer can use to identify each other on the internet. Okay, for example, so www.google.com is the domain name. So this can be translated into IP address called 142.250.796.132, which means this helps to identify the computer each other's identify the two computers each other in the internet. Okay, for example, if one computer is requesting www.google.com, then it will be translated to IP address. Okay, so that this IP address, with the help of this IP address, you can easily identify who requested this web URL. Okay, why it is necessary, what is the purpose of this domain name system? Now what we have seen is domain name system. What is domain name system? It's a hierarchical and decentralized naming system. Mainly it is used to translate a human friendly domain names like www.google.com into IP address. It is mainly for translation terms. Okay, so that it can identify easily. Okay, then what is the main purpose is it makes it easier for users to access website without memorizing IP address, right? So you don't want to every time keep memory IP address. For example, if you want to use a google.com, if you want to use Google website, so every time you no need to know the IP address of the Google website is 142.250.796.132. Okay, you need to type www.google.com. It's enough. Okay, so this is the main purpose of using this domain name system. Okay, there are various tips in the domain name system. We can see one by one. First, what the user will do is the user will type URL in the browser, right? So initially the user will type the URL in the browser. What happens next? The DNS, domain name system resolver, will check its cache. Okay, it's a temporary memory storage. So that will be checked by DNS resolver. So resolver is mainly checks once the user types URL in the browser, the DNS resolver checks its cache. Okay, then if it is not found, it queries a root DNS server. If that particular cache is not found after typing the URL in the browser, then it queries root DNS server. So the queries will go to the root DNS server. Then what the root server will do is the root server will respond with address of the top level domain, that is TLD server domain, example.com. Okay, so initially the request will be in the given the browser in form of URL. Then immediately after entering the URL, the DNS resolver will check its cache. Then if it is not found, it queries a root DNS server. Then the root server will respond with address of top level domain. Okay, that is TLD server.com. Then resolver then queries TLD server. This resolver then queries the TLD server, which responds with authoritative name server of the domain, Okay, then the authoritative server will return the IP address. So there is a process behind this. So we are simply just typing the URL in the website, but what happens behind this This is what the domain name system we are explaining step by steps. Okay, initially the user will type the URL in the browser, the DNS resolver will check for cache. If it is not found, the query will send to the DNS server, then the root server responds with the address of top level domain server. For example, .com will be responded by the root server, then resolver then queries TLD server, which responds with authoritative name server of the domain, authoritative name server. Then authoritative server will return the IP address. Then the browser uses the IP address to request the website. So once you type the URL in the website browser, there are these many steps are following behind the screen. Okay, next is what are the DNS components. The DNS resolver is the major component. Mainly it is in client side component that stores and manages DNS queries. Okay, then we have another component is root server. So what the root server will do is it directs queries to appropriate TLD server. Okay, once the queries has happened, it will be directed to the TLD server. It will forward this to TLD server. Next component is TLD server. What the TLD server will do, it manages domains like .com, .org, .net, like etc. So these are the work of the TLD server. Next is authoritative DNS server. So it provides actual IP address of the domain. So we have different components in the DNS domain. So initially what we have seen is what is DNS, what is the purpose of DNS, what is the steps involved in the DNS. Now what are the DNS components we have seen. DNS components are DNS resolver, root server, TLD server, authoritative DNS server. So everything, there are 4 components mainly. These 4 components will do that process separately. Okay, then what is cache? Then the caching is nothing but DNS responses are cached at various level to improve the speed and reduce traffic. So this is the purpose of the cache that we have seen already. Okay.